been a while since I've genuinely been excited about generative AI for images, but I've got something to share with you that has changed everything for me. When MidJourney first came out, obviously I was initially hyped like everybody on the internet. I got in there, I started making some really cool stuff, and obviously blown away with what I could do. However, over time, I kind of got bogged down by the process. Creating images in MidJourney, it's pretty slow, and iterating on it, like doing 10, 20, 30 iterations, honestly, it's kind of impossible. It's just so painfully slow. Last month, I discovered Visual Electric, and let me tell you, I am excited again. It is that tool that I had hoped MidJourney was. The gallery pulled me in at first, just like MidJourney did. Obviously, we can create some pretty cool stuff with generative AI, but between the freeform canvas that's set up like Figma, how fast the results are when you actually enter a prompt, and then how easy it is to iterate on top of these prompts. Right away, honestly, no lie, I canceled my MidJourney subscription. So in this video, I'm gonna create some lifestyle and product mockups for a client and walk you through every step. All right, so I have a blank canvas in Visual Electric. So I'm just going to actually tap T and make a title here and keep this nice and organized. And I'm just gonna actually drag in a couple images as references. And it's that easy. And then now let's make some magic. This is going to be a shot of a woman blending the protein shake in a kitchen. So this first shot is a good reference, both for style and for kind of contents and composition, but we of course need to change up a bunch of stuff. I mentioned blending in the kitchen. This woman's just holding a shaker bottle with a product on the counter. What we want to do is have this woman blending the protein shake and also have the packaging mock-up on the counter. So we can use this as a starting point just to get the initial prompt and build off of it. And this image here is a kitchen that the client sent to match the style of. So the first step here is to actually click on this image and we can hit generate prompt. And it's actually going to give us a prompt to build off of from this image. So I can click here and we get a full prompt. So I can just hit remix. And I definitely want to change up a bunch of the stuff, but I want to show you the result that we get just by hitting remix here. Cool. So not bad. Obviously, I want to tweak some stuff, but from a contents and composition standpoint, it's pretty close. So those are pretty cool images that I generated already, but let's take this prompt and start to engineer it to be something that is closer to what we wanted. So we can change what she's wearing. We have a green sports bra, so we can make this a dark brown. And we can just say high-end outfit. We can just keep it vague, but just making that a brand color. We'll just change her hair to say curly. We can keep her face expression as it is. And we're going to change this to the protein shake. And then the kitchen itself, I'm going to remove this so we can add the kitchen in separately from the second image. And everything else here, I think we can leave. So I'm going to just copy this in case we lose it. And I'm going to go here to this image. And I'm going to do the same thing and generate the prompt. So let's remix this. I'm just going to go to the top and paste in the first prompt that we made with the woman. And then we can connect these two. You can say the kitchen is but then let's add the protein package next to the blender. And we want to make sure that the protein powder bag is white and blank so we can impose the cover on it after. And then the aspect ratio here, I actually want to make this widescreen because we're going to make this the hero. And let's see what we get. Cool. These are all really solid, actually. I don't even need to tweak anything here. As I said, we can put the label on in Photoshop. But let's take this image, for example, and we can use the art director tool to actually change the her outfit here. So in the original prompt, I said she's wearing a dark brown high-end outfit. So let's just change this to make her outfit light powder blue green to match that kind of brand color. We can always tweak it after, but let's see what we get. Not bad at all. So the art director, the way that it works is actually changing the prompting here. So it's not so much targeting a part of the image that you don't like. It's more so anything here that you describe that you want to change, you can use the art director to do that. So because her outfit was brown, we could just change it to blue and it'll just regenerate that prompt. So these are all super solid. I'm going to take this image now, click on any of them because they're all in the same world. And I'm going to create a style to actually make a consistent aesthetic for the rest of the shots. So I'm going to hit create style and call this signals. And you'll see that it's just adding these prompts to the image and the exclusion prompts as well. So this isn't going to be an exact replica of this style per se. When you get into more unique setups, I think it becomes more prominent. But because it's photography, it's just going to be some keywords that'll help us stay in the overall aesthetic. So I'll create this. And then as we get into our next image for the sauna, I'm going to use this signal style here. So where to start from here is I want to make a image of somebody basically in the sauna enjoying the shake. So they're drinking it. And the second image here is, it would be nice to have some nature context to the shot beyond just the inside of the sauna. So we'll see how we can use this prompting. So first step here is let's just maybe generate a prompt for this image. And let's remix this. And I want to change this up a bit more so on the subject. I think it's more so just the aesthetic of the interior that I want to keep. So I'm going to change this to from a woman laying down to a man sitting and drinking a shake. I'm going to add the style that we made. And the aspect ratio, let's make this landscape and see what we get. Cool. So this shot is not really what I'd hoped for. It's not that far off from this one. What I like about this is that it's just a bit brighter. This is a bit dark, but this one might help us bring some more life to it. Again, bringing some nature to it might help brighten everything up. So let's just generate this prompt as well. But I'm more interested in a visual referencer, so we can actually create a bit of a unique prompt just ourselves looking at this. And then just go back to this if we need to add more keywords. But I want to get closer to this image as far as like the color and the composition goes, just how bright it is. And then also maybe zoom out and have this be outside. And again, not trying to recreate this exact image, but pulling some pieces of it if we need to. So I'm going to click on this image here and hit remix. And we can basically start. I'm going to start at the top and add some additional context of this being a photograph taken at midday from outside. So that adds a bit of context to kind of pull out of it. Looking straight into a large contemporary wooden Nordic sauna. I don't like how it's so dark in here, so I'm going to add some context there. The wood is bright and doesn't have much saturation. Inside the sauna, then we can continue this here. So a man is sitting, drinking a protein shake from a glass bottle. And we can say maybe a chocolate protein shake. And then we can just take out the composition line at the end and maybe just go back to the man and describe that maybe he's in his bathing suit. Because this doesn't make sense to wear a t-shirt in the sauna. And for the ratio, let's just change this up to be maybe portrait and see what we get. Okay, this isn't bad. I think it's better than the first batch. This is probably the closest one here. And it's like that we're starting to get the outside, but I'm wondering if We can add maybe some context, like a wide photograph. And sometimes if you put too much descriptions on some part of an image, it'll kind of put more priority over it. So maybe if we take out, let's just take out this whole second part about the sauna and see if this changes the composition. And you know what, even just to be a proper test, I won't even put wide here. Yeah, this is a lot closer to what I was expecting, a lot more bright. We're getting the outside. These feel a lot better. So yeah, I guess just if you put too much emphasis on one area, it'll really focus on that part of the image. So I guess less really is more. So I think from here, maybe we can just go back to this first image and look at the prompt here. We have lush forest setting, sunlight filters through the trees. I think I like that. Just to add a bit more of some nature here. Let's just see what we get. These are really cool results, but I think the first row here is probably better. So I think this would probably be my select. So actually, what I like to do is I'll make a green outline here for a border. And let's move on. So the next one, we have basically a dad and his kid at home with a kind of sunset or like a skyline in view. We can generate a prompt from these, but just looking at these, I think we could probably just start with a base of what we're getting here. So we have our signal style here, so that should make us a bit consistent as well. So let's do a photograph of a dad and his young daughter. Let's just say in his office, overlooking the city skyline. Look at that. And we can do at sunset. He is drinking a protein shake in a glass bottle while holding his daughter's hand. And maybe we can just say mid-century modern office, just give it some styling. And we'll do portrait for this as well. So we're keeping this prompt simple. We have our style. We'll see what we get. Okay, I'm digging this one, but I think we're not getting enough nature here. So we can say city skyline and mountains with luscious, if I can spell luscious, forest. And we'll make it golden hour instead of sunset. And let's see what this does. I like this one. So I'm digging this one on the right. I think it looks solid. And we can always play with that cropping after. All right, and then for the airport shot, let's start this from scratch again. So I'm just going to use this as my own prompt here. I'm going to kind of describe this and then just change it as I want to change it. So a woman sitting at her airport gate, waiting, drinking a protein shake out of a glass bottle. She's wearing headphones and we'll say like athletic leisure wear clothing. Beside her is let's make her fancy. We'll give her our Moa suitcase. Her legs are crossed and has a satisfied look on her face. The airport is bright and minimal. Scan to Navian. Crazy word. Design, lots of wood, texture, and plants. We'll add our style and we'll see what this gets us. I'm going to do the portrait as well. Okay, I think it's a good first step here. Okay, so this is not bad. I think it's cool. I want to jump to the first image here to actually get some of the lighting better. So we actually have lines here about the lighting and the composition. So I'm going to copy this and add it to this. So I could add this to the custom photography style I made for signals, which I'll probably do later. But for now, I'm just going to add this to the image prompt directly. So I'll remix this and add this to the end. And let's also just change this up. Maybe she's Asian, and I don't know if saying high end is going to change anything about her fashion, but let's see and go from there. All right, I'm digging this one, but after seeing the shot of her resting her arm on the suitcase, I think that feels a bit more natural. And we could probably, like, I want this a bit brighter. So let's remix this and we can add the context of her arm is resting on the suitcase. And then we can maybe say light, like natural light is filling the airport from the windows. And then maybe her outfit, it feels a bit too much of a sweatsuit. High-end, minimal, relaxed. I don't know. Let's see what that gives us. Let's see what this does. Yeah, I'm digging this. I think the there we go. This is like the first. I mean, this still technically makes sense. You could be drinking a bottle like that. But I really like these shots. There's a bit of a it just like perfectly aligns with that. Okay, it's getting close. Let's just hit this again. The ceilings are Scandinavian wood decor. It knows what I mean. Yeah, it's better. Okay, I'm digging this. Let's do it again. All right, so a lot of great shots to use here. Honestly, I can't even decide. That was actually super fun. I had a great time doing it. So the next step, I'm going to export these. I'm just going to do a quick download and I'm going to open them in Photoshop and just tweak some of them to have the product packaging mockup and the colors the way I want them to be to reflect the product. All right, so let's just download all the images now. You could click on these and upscale them. But this resolution, honestly, is pretty solid. So I don't feel like you always need to do that. But I'm going to download these as they are and just download our selects here. And I'm going to go with this one for the hero. So just a download, and then let's open them in Photoshop to customize them to the brand. So let's start with this hero image. I'm just going to bump this up a bit because we're going to be editing some of the packaging here. I just want to increase the size of the artwork. I'm going to start, because this is probably going to go to the website where we need some text on the left side. I'm going to start by duplicating this, and I'm just going to flip this horizontally. So then we have space on the left side for the text, and the package is on the right. So first thing, I'm just going to maybe even remove this lamp here, and I'm just going to generate a fill and just hit enter. And we have some weird stuff going on around here as well. So see what generative fill does if we just remove this here. Oh, that actually worked quite well. Yeah, I think those are the two things just to clean up this composition. And then on the blender here, really these controls should be on her side, facing her. So I'm going to just select this area here and use generative fill for this. And again, just hit generate, see if we can remove it. Yeah, pretty good. And then the packaging. So first thing, I'm just going to take this healing brush and remove some of these little marks in here. So for the packaging, let's duplicate this layer, and I'm going to use the object select tool. I'll select it here and then add a layer mask. And I'll just hide the background so you can see what's selected here. And I can just select the brush and remove this extra door handle. and I want to scale this up. So I'm going to drag in the artwork so we can see the actual ratio. And size-wise, I can always come back to this later. I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. I'm just going to get the aspect ratio correct. So I'm going to reduce the opacity of this here and take this package from behind, and let's just scale it up. And I'm actually not going to keep the proportions. I'm just going to drag it and make it wider and just make sure the starting point is the same point as the original image. So I think it still needs to be a bit wider. I think this is probably good. Just align that left and bottom part. And then the front here, just bump this up and we can set it to multiply. And I'm going to use the puppet warp tool. And I'm just going to make a bunch of anchor points here. And just start dragging stuff in and out just to match this package. Okay, and then I'll grab that layer mask and apply it here as well. And the layer mask actually is quite blurry because we upscaled it. So I'm actually going to delete it and let's try this again. So I'm going to disable the layer mask here and let's just do a fresh cutout that is going to be a harder pixel. And actually, while we're here, I'm going to cut it off at this point because the package actually should be open, not closed. So let's just do this. And I'm going to hide this actually so it doesn't get too confusing. You can make a clipping mask there. Okay, so we can still clean this up a bit. And then in the background here, it's actually just take this and remove it. We could actually take this a step further and maybe do okay. And then these edges aren't perfect, so we can actually just kind of fade them out a bit. Especially on this side. Move this inside the layer mask here. Okay. We'll probably punch this out a tiny bit. And then maybe set this to linear burn instead, just to get a bit more color in there. Okay, I can keep going, I can keep refining it, but the Photoshop part is, do that however approach you want to do. But as far as the base to get here, super sweet, super easy. So let's move on to the next one. So we have this image of this guy in the sauna, and honestly, there's nothing I need to tweak here outside of maybe just cleaning up this black mark on the bottom. So I'll just duplicate the layer and use maybe the healing brush here. And relatively easy. I do have references for the actual color, but looking at this, if I compare it, I don't think it's going to be far off. Especially because it's so small, but that's pretty much spot on. So nothing early. Okay, and then for this shot, let's just make this closer to the chocolate. It's looking a bit peachy. So let's just take the pen tool here. And we'll make a new group with the layer mask and just play with some of the color here. So we could do few different ways to do this. Let's just try with the color balance first. Add some hue and saturation, maybe some curves, and then we'll just clean up this mask a bit. That one was quick and dirty. And then this one, all I want to do is get the color of this shake here. So I'll make a new folder and select the shake, make a mask, and do the same thing. We can just play with some color properties here. And that one was actually really easy. Maybe brighten it up a bit. Yeah, not bad. Let's see if we need to clean this up. I might add just a bit of a color balance on this image. Just want to make it a bit less green. Cool. All right, we have our 4 images. And the last thing I like to sometimes do is on all AI images, I just feel like they always lack a bit of texture and noise. So I add a noise layer here and I set it to soft light. Maybe set it to like 8%. And then you can play with the levels to like increase the contrast. Just adds a bit more human texture to it. I don't even know if you could see it in a screen recording like this, but it's a subtle detail. All right, and there we have 4 beautiful, consistent images, and I think the client is going to be happy with them. So what's next? For Visual Electric, the team is just getting started. They're working on a bunch of stuff, including video generation, which is going to be crazy, and mobile support. The thing that I'm most excited about that they're working on is custom models, which means that you'll actually be able to soon train a model on your products. So your logos, characters, styles, and then generate images with your content directly in them. This lets you skip the whole photo shoot and also having to kind of Photoshop stuff in after, and just make high quality, consistent on-brand marketing imagery for your products, for the rest of your brand, which is honestly, it's huge. It's an exciting future ahead. I can't wait. What's crazy is that you can actually use Visual Electric for free right now. You can generate up to 20 images a month for personal use before you have to get into paid tiers. And on that note, for Flux Academy fam, Visual Electric is hooking up a free month for the first 100 people to redeem the code FLUX at checkout on a standard membership. So definitely take advantage of that. All right, and if you guys are interested in learning more about how I use Visual Electric in my creative workflow, not just for creating assets that I can use across different mediums, but using it in the context of web design and actually building a design from scratch using AI and Visual Electric, you should definitely check out my web design masterclass with Flux Academy that just dropped. So definitely check that out in the link below. So I'll see you soon, whether it be in the course or in our next YouTube video with Flux Academy. Until then, take care.